Okay.
Okay, what you want to know about collard sandwiches?
Well, this is the official recording, so I want to know everything about collard sandwiches, but let me start officially. So next week, or when people read about this, is going Slow Food USA is doing a collard week, where for the whole week they're doing promotions and recipes and information all around collards. And so this is part of the celebrations of the Slow Food USA Collard Week. And they've partnered with the Heirloom Collard Project to kind of just bring in more stories and folklore and varieties and all the fun stuff we already do with collards. So really, the collard sandwich came up as a thing. And I said, I know some folks that might know about the collard sandwich. And they were like, great, you should speak to them. And here we are. So I would love to start right from the beginning and just have you guys introduce yourself and a little bit about your farm. And then we can jump into the collard sandwich and find out all about it.
Okay.
All right, introduce yourself.
Okay. Hello, everybody. I'm Connie Locklear. I'm from Pembroke, North Carolina. That's in Robeson County. I am a farmer, co-owner of New Ground Farm. We grow a wide variety of fruits and vegetables, and I like to have pet projects on my farm. So this year, I had some pet projects with some tara and some black and green turmeric, and two varieties of rice, the Charleston Gold and the Carolina Gold rice. So those are my pet projects for this year. So on to
Good afternoon. My name is Millard Locklear. I'm the other co-owner of the New Ground Farms. This is my ancestor homeland. We've been here, me and her, we're the sixth generations, and it's been in my family for all that time. And we're carrying it on and working on local solid food networks.
Nice. Awesome. Thank you.
And our topic for the day is collard sandwiches.
Yes.
Okay.
Can you give us, I mean, some people will never have heard of a collard sandwich. And so, and this might be going out to lots of different folks. So I think we should start by just having you give or describe a visual of a collard sandwich. Like, what are the key components? What is a collard sandwich?
Okay, a collard sandwich is collards that have been cooked and drained with cornbread patties, and the collards is wedged in between them. Some people like the collards just on one piece. Some people like the collards on two pieces with a side of chow chow and fatback or white side meat.
So it's like a whole meal. It's not just
that's a whole meal. That's a whole meal. That's all you need. And
so, go on, sorry.
Go ahead.
Well, I wanted to ask if it feels like it's a very regional kind of thing, and I've heard it tied specifically to the Lumbee Nation. Can you speak a little bit about its origins and its significance to your region of North Carolina?
Well, when I was growing up as a child, we had collards like that. Yeah. So it's just been something that was handed down from one generation to the next and to the next. Mama cooked the collards, she fried the cornbread, you put your collards on your cornbread, and you have fatback or white side or strychnine, and that was your meal. So we've evolved and we're still bringing it on through to the next generations, future generations. And probably in the last 5 or 6 years, like regional powwows and things like that, people have come in and they're preparing collard sandwiches, collard wraps, collard sandwiches,
tortilla sheets,
and you know, that it's like the Indian taco. That's the burning thing right now with the powwows and Lumbee homecoming and things like that. That's the burning thing. Everybody's got to have a collard sandwich. And I'm no different. Even though I fix my own powwows, Lumbee homecoming, I'm going to get a collard sandwich that somebody else has fixed. And I do it quite often at home, especially during the collard season.
Awesome.
I do the collard sandwiches, the collard wraps. I do a dish that my mother used to cook. She would do, it was a one-pot dish. She would put her collards in the pot. She would cook them for a few minutes. She would make cornbread dumplings and lay it on top. She would fry her sausage and put it in the collards. So that was a whole meal. That was a one-pot meal.
That sounds like a delicious one-pot meal. Now, when you talk about the collard wraps versus the
Yes.
collard sandwich, are
Yes.
you're doing a raw leaf for the collard wrap?
I usually use the flour tortillas. The big flour tortillas. I cook my collards. I put my bacon grease in it, just a pinch of cayenne pepper to season my collards. I drain them, lay them in the wrap, and roll it up just like a burrito.
Because I've come across some folks that actually use the leaf as the tortilla.
Yeah,
have you tried that?
you probably could, but sometimes I'll place sausage in the wrap, and that's a complete meal. And then I deep fry it.
Oh wow!
So the flour tortilla is crispy, and then I put the pepper jelly. I put pepper jelly on that. Now collard sandwiches, I'll use chow chow.
What's in your chow chow?
And then chow chow is cabbage, onions, tomatoes, bell pepper, different spices and seasons, turmeric, mustard seeds, different spices like that, sugar and vinegar.
Wow. And
what you do, you chop up all your vegetable ingredients real fine. I put them in a huge container, because usually when I make chow chow, I'm making anywhere from 50 jars to 200 jars, because I'm state certified to make and sell chow chow to the public. And then you take your vinegar and your sugar and your spices and bring it up to a boil. Once you bring it up to a boil, you take your spices out of your vinegar. You pour your vinegar and sugar solution into your vegetables and stir them till it cools. Jar it, process it 5 to 10 minutes in a cool water bath, and you've got chow chow for the year. So
awesome. Millard, did you grow up eating chow chow? Not chow chow, collard sandwiches.
Yes, sir. Just like she was saying.
Any differences between yours and Connie's experiences?
My mother fried them. Where her mother mostly boiled them, like modern day people is. My mother would boil them for a period of time, then she would put them in a skillet and stir them and fry them, lightly fry them, and that would give you a totally different taste.
Yeah.
And she used more of the stem than what Connie did. Her would have a lot more stem in it, so you got more fiber and juice in it. But mine was fried, and so I got to let you try that one time we're down together.
Yeah. And it's sounding like collard sandwiches are like they're kind of like a go-to meal. It's not like for a special occasion or a Sunday dinner or anything like that. It's just like, I want to eat something good, I'm going to have a collard sandwich, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the basic foods. That would be something like on your Saturdays, short meals that you could pair and carry with you.
Because you can cook that up in less than an hour. I mean, you've got supper. And usually, like with the collards, like during the off season when we're not growing collards, I usually, when they're in season, I'll cook my collards up, put my seasoning in it, my spices, bag them, put them in the freezer, where I've always got collards. I probably put 50-pound of collards in the freezer last year. So
with your chow chow and your frozen collards, you can have your sandwiches year round.
Year round, yes. Absolutely.
Do either of you have do you ever have a favorite variety that you like to go to for collard sandwiches, or is it just like any collard works?
I do. I do. I do. Now, me personally, I like the Morris head collared,
Mm-hmm.
but I've got acquainted with the Lottie collared, and that's a hot topic now. The Lottie collared is running neck and neck with the Morris head collared as far as flavor, texture, tenderness. I mean, so I think they're kind of neck and neck with on my list.
And you're growing both of them this year, is that right?
Yeah, we're growing some of both of them. A few of the Lottie collards, quite a bit of the Morris head collards, and then we've got flash collards for later on in the season when it gets real cold.
Uh-huh.
The flash collards will be able to withstand the colder temperatures better.
Yeah. I definitely need to try collard sandwich now. Do either of you have family recipes? Or are you just like it's pretty straightforward, right? You just throwing together the collards and putting on some cornbread.
Yeah. And usually when I do my cornbread, I like my basic recipe is like maybe a cup of cornmeal to 1/4 of a cup of flour. That way you've got something to hold that cornmeal together.
Mm-hmm.
No milk, no eggs, just a little bit of salt and water. That's because you want sort of larger patties when you're doing your
4 or 5 inches.
When you're doing your collard sandwiches.
So is your cornbread recipe for collard sandwiches different to normal cornbread? Because
No.
I've always put eggs in cornbread.
Normally, I make my cornbread if we're eating anything else the same way as I make it for my collard sandwiches.
Our collard sandwiches might be bigger in diameter, but it's a little bit thinner. But it ain't a different. You just add more water to it, so it's more liquidy. It's spread out thinner.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you get the different width on it.
Okay. Yeah. That makes
Change
sense.
the water contents.
Do you like doing the open sandwich or the closed sandwich?
We have more open than closed.
More open than closed.
Okay.
We have a lot more of that,
Mm-hmm.
The last 2 years, probably the last 2 or 3 years, we've been using the wraps. We've seen that at a festival when we tried it.
Yeah.
But our children and all them, all our lives have been patties.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay. Well, I definitely need to try the fried ones when I come down, and I'm gonna make myself some collard sandwiches. I think I'm gonna do it next week because it's collard week, and I kind of feel like after this conversation I have to. I got a whole bunch of corn in, and I've been loving making cornbread recently. And then the collards are just up to size now up here in Western North Carolina. So I'm going to be able to go out and harvest a whole bunch and start really digging into it. So I'll send you a photograph and you can tell me how well I did.
Do that. Yeah. You got chow chow to go with it.
I don't have any chow chow, but I guess I could whip up a batch. I've got to have chow chow. That's a core component.
Yeah.
Well, it just makes it better.
Okay, well, I got to do it then. Okay, chow
your
chow. I will make happen.
You're using the sauerkraut, so go ahead and use that. That's just a 1-2 step difference.
Okay, I do have a lot of sauerkraut, and I got some. Is it crossing too many cultural boundaries if I put kimchi on it? Can you do a spicy?
You probably could.
Collard sandwich?
I mean, whatever suits your taste, suits your palate. I mean, go for it. Because everybody don't cook collards the same way either.
That's true. I have the freedom to experiment. I appreciate that.
Yes.
Okay, well, thank you so much for sharing about collard sandwiches. I'm gonna get all this across to Slow Food USA, and hopefully I think we'll do a transcript and maybe get a recipe up, and hopefully next week lots of people can try some collard sandwiches as well.
Okay, great.
All right.
Great. Happy to share.